In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Thundercats Mutant Fistpounder, the evil earth-shaking combat machine. Awesome fists of steel smash and pound as it attacks. Featuring a menacing face with fierce snapping jaws, tilting and swiveling rear firing position with twin particle blasters, holds 3 Thundercats action figures. So what I've noticed about this vehicle is this control panel is usually missing, and it's going to be a very difficult piece to make, and that's what I'm planning on doing today. I also wanted to go through this toy and just make sure that everything is here. So I bought this years ago, and I didn't know anything about any of the Thundercats vehicles. I just thought it was a really cool vehicle, and I got it on Facebook Marketplace, I think for $60 shipped to me because it was not in my hometown, so I had it shipped, I think, across Canada. I thought that was a fantastic value, and so I bought it. It pretty much has everything but that. It's got the belt here. There's also a belt here that I believe is broken because there's a piece of it, I think, here on the side. So this might have had like 2 belts. Yeah, it must have had another piece here that this connected to, but it's still there, so we should be able to make that piece. But other than that, it does have the 2 guns on the side, and a lot of the stickers. I haven't really gone through the stickers, but I see a lot of them still there. They're still in good condition. I believe they are original. There's not a lot of paint wear on this vehicle, and I think it's a good candidate to restore. Now, the action feature still works. That's amazing. But there might be some breaks on that. So I might actually go through this and just make sure there's nothing broken. We have to build that. It's a pretty intricate piece. There's a lot of pieces I'm going to have to cut. And at the end of this video, I will show you all the pieces that I cut and their measurements in a diagram. Mostly I'm going to be using styrene. I'm going to be using 1.5mm styrene and maybe some other cuts of plastic. We've got a lot of work to do. I've got a sticker to find and recreate and print for the control panel. So let's get started with this. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. It's just going to be a lot of building. Firstly, off camera, I'm going to take this and clean this up. This is super dirty. I haven't cleaned it since I bought it, and it's time for it to get cleaned up, and then we'll get started on measuring and making that part. So these are all the pieces that by measuring the vehicle itself, I could figure out pretty much what the measurements were going to be. And the rest of this is going to be actually a little bit more difficult, and it's going to be a little bit more less by measuring and more by doing it by eye, because we have two triangles here that we have to kind of fit together to make this front piece. And in the back, there's a piece that kind of goes like this and like that. It's a V shape kind of shape that goes up and fits into here, but it also fits on these angles too. But once you get going with these projects and start making it, you come up with ideas that make sense as you're doing it. I do predict that the next couple steps are going to be a little bit more difficult. So here we go. Let's continue on. Okay, it's turning out great. This is a good representation of what I'm trying to make. Now, there's a couple things I have to make now is the dial on the front and a round part in the back. So the items I'm going to use for that is this funnel, and I'm going to cut this up. I'll show you as I'm going along what's going on. And we'll use the top of this marker. Both of these were $1 at the dollar store. And I just used this top because it has to be around 18 millimeters, and that's the only thing I could find. Okay, so here's our pieces, and here's the top of the marker top. And we'll save those pieces. You never know when they'll come in handy again. And then we have the funnel here, and this is the piece I want. And we'll set these aside for another project. Now I'm using this Beauty Tone enamel paint, and after my first coat I ran out, so I went out and got some more. I guess my can was old because the exact same paint they had, but instead of Chinese red, the color was called International Red. So if you want to use this color, that is the color you have to find. And this is Alkali enamel paint. I love this paint too. It goes on really nice. So while that paint is drying, let's address this broken seat belt. Now that swivel gun on the top, you just have to unscrew the screw that's in there and then pull this off that and then put it back in. I'll show you, I'll put this back on and I'll show it on the video, but we need to fix this belt. Now the only thing broken on this belt is the little buckle here where the other side of the belt fits in. And it's pretty flexible, but I don't want this part to be too flexible. I want it to be pretty rigid, so I'm going to use this thicker stuff here that I've been using. So I'm going to see if I can make as much area as possible. I might actually make a piece that goes all the way back here like that, and that way it's got a lot of plastic to hold on to. And I'm going to paint this with some Tamiya X7 red enamel. It's almost the same color as this, and I'm going to brush this on instead of spray painting it because I really don't want to spray paint the original piece. Now that it's all clean and I get the marks off of it using the lighter fluid, let's get this thing back together and I'm going to reveal my repairs. Here's the first one. We've got the belt, and the paint is pretty close to what it was. It might be a little bit darker, but that's okay. It's just for display. And as I promised, I'm going to show you how this comes off. And then we have the gun. Now what you'll notice about this gun is it has these little decorative pieces here, and sometimes you'll see those broken off, and I could see that happening. Luckily for me, I have both intact guns, so that's nice to see. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to lift this up, bring it all the way back. And then we have this one black Phillips head screw, and it just goes in there and attaches everything back together. And then those guns still swivel like that. And then we also have our working seatbelt. So for the control panel sticker, I just found a picture on eBay and I printed a bunch of these out, different sizes, because I wasn't sure which one was going to fit the best. And the larger size is the one that fits. This is 35 millimeters square. Now this isn't exactly a square, but I just, when I cropped it, I made it 35 millimeters maximum. And that seems to work. Let's reveal my control panel now. Here's the control panel. It's got some of the details that you want to see on this, and then this just fits right here. So let's take this off. This is just white printable sticker paper. I don't have a really good printer, but it's good enough for what I'm doing here. And there's our control panel, looking good. It fits right in there like that. Now I made that slot a little smaller than the slot here, just so that I can position it in the correct place so that it follows the form of the front of the vehicle. It looks to me like it belongs. We also have the larger seat belt for the figure that stands in the front. So I'm going to get my figures out, and I'm going to equip this guy with the correct figures from the box, and we'll take a last look at it. So for the price of a little bit of styrene and a little bit of paint and a bunch of time and effort building these pieces, and here we go, we have our Mutant Fistpounder. I love this vehicle. It's going to look great back on the shelf again. It's been on my shelf for about 3 or 4 years, and it's ready to go back on the shelf looking complete the way it was originally made. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a satin varnish over this and make it a little less shiny, but I like the shine to it. I think it looks really good, and I'm happy with how that turned out. So thanks for watching this episode of Toysbackzen. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, I thank you for supporting me. I've been having a lot of fun doing a lot of repairs lately and some customs coming up. So stay tuned and see you on the next episode.